Srimad Bhagavatam by Kamala Subramaniam. Chapter 9. Yudhishthira performs Ashvamedha. Several months passed. Yudhishthira had managed to get a semblance of peace in his mind when he devoted all his thoughts and all his time in governing the kingdom. But at the back of his mind there was still a feeling of guilt gnawing at his vitals. He could not, would not, get over the fact that he had caused the death of his cousins and his kinsmen. Vyasa came to him and told him that he would be cleansed of the sin if he performed the yaga by name Ashvamedha. This suggestion was welcomed by everyone. Krishna came at the request of Yudhishthira, and he too approved of the suggestion. Everyone was happy that Yudhishthira had something to do. This would keep him from brooding. Arjuna was particularly thrilled. It seemed ages since he had taken the Gandiva in his hand. His powerful arms were itching for fight. But Yudhishthira was against all unlawful fighting. He would not let them collect even the customary wealth, the tribute which vassal kings had to pay the emperor. If there is some other way in which I can acquire wealth, tell me, Krishna, and we will proceed with our plans, said Yudhishthira. Krishna thought for a while and sent the brothers to the north, where a king had performed a yajna previously and had left all the golden vessels and other necessary utensils there. They came back with immense wealth, and the yajna was performed 3 times by the king. Vyasa presided over the function, and Krishna was the honored guest, as was the custom with the Pandavas. Krishna spent some time with them all after the yajna, and when he went back to Dwaraka, he took Arjuna with him. Chapter 10. Vidura lays down his bow. It was just after the 13th year of the exile of the Pandavas. Vain efforts were made by them to get back their half of the kingdom from Duryodhana. The court of Dhritarashtra was a hotbed of intrigue. Old Bhishma tried to advise Duryodhana to make peace with the Pandavas. Drona, in his own way, tried to say the same thing, but it was all to no purpose. Duryodhana was bent on war, either war or the return of the Pandavas to the forest. With this end in view, Dhritarashtra sent Sanjaya, the charioteer, to the Pandava camp, and Upaplavya, asking them to avert the war. He particularly requested gentle-hearted and noble Yudhishthira to go back to the forest instead of desiring the kingdom. Sanjaya came back to Hastina, and he spoke harshly to the old king, censoring his avarice. The king could not sleep that night. Try as he might, he could not. He sent for Vidura, his brother, and asked him to comfort him. Vidura had nothing but contempt for the blind king and his querulous moods, but at the same time he was sorry for his brother. He said, "My dear brother, you say you cannot sleep. I know why you are not able to sleep. You are trying to be unjust to the sons of your dead brother. It is your sinful nature which is robbing you of your sleep. Listen to me. Let me take you back to the days when we had just lost Pandu. Do you remember the day when Kuti came to us with her 5 sons? You disliked the youngsters from that day. I know about it. I knew too about the dastardly plot you hatched with your son on the advice of Kanaka to destroy them at Varanavata. You sent them to that city knowing full well that they would be burnt to death in the house of Lak. I saved my brother's children, and I know you have not forgiven me for it. You were given a second chance. Did you take it? No. Poor Yudhishthira was given a dry and barren piece of land by name Gandhava Prashta. Because he made it beautiful, because he and his brothers were able to subdue all the kings of Bharata Varsha and perform the Rajasuya, your son became highly jealous of them and made up his mind to rob them. You endorsed his action in every way. You built the gambling hall and you cheated the sons of your brother. They lost their kingdom and themselves too. And when that unfortunate child, their queen, Draupadi, with her hair and mantle all awry, appealed to you for justice, for succor from the assault on her, you paid no heed to her words, and you allowed them to be banished to the forest for 13 years. Was that not wrong? And now what has happened? Yudhishthira has just fulfilled the conditions of the exile. He stayed in the forest for 12 years, and the 13th year has also been completed. Now, after all this, he asks you for justice. All he wants is his share of the kingdom, and you, with your sons, are too avaricious to part with your ill-gotten gains. You refuse to listen to him. You send word to him asking him to go back to the forest. Is that not wrong? Even now it is not too late. In your old age, you can have peace if you listen to Krishna, who is coming to you with a message of peace. Vidura tried to explain Dharma to a king who was singularly devoid of it. A few days later, Krishna came to Hastina. In the council hall, he spoke to the king and to Duryodhana about their unjust behavior. Elders like Bhishma and Drona tried in vain to plead the cause of the Pandavas. Then Vidura spoke. Vidura said, "My dear brother, evidently you have not seemed to realize the grave danger that awaits you and your sons. It is obvious that you have, in your foolishness, forgotten the dreadful oath of Bhima. Bhima, with his brothers, is hissing like a huge python, ready to swallow your sons. Please return the kingdom to Yudhishthira. This Krishna, who is the Lord in human form, has declared that the Pandavas are dear to him. The gods, therefore, will side only with the Pandavas. Can you not see that Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, will favor only the side where the Lord is present? All your past sins have taken a form, and that is your son Duryodhana. The wise say that one can be abandoned for the honor of the family for the sake of the village for the sake of the community, and the earth itself should be abandoned to save one's soul. Please abandon this, Duryodhana. Listen to my advice. I am saying what is good for you." There was a moment of silence when he said this. Just a moment. Duryodhana then descended from his seat, and with him walked Radheya, Dushasana, and Shakuni. Duryodhana came and stood very near his uncle. His eyes were red and his lips were throbbing with anger. He would not even talk to Vidura directly. He said, "Who allowed this low-born man into this council hall? He is a traitor. He has been eating the salt of my father, the king, and shamelessly he is siding with our enemies. It is our wish that he should leave this city. We do not want him here. Since he is the brother of our revered father, he can escape alive." Vidura looked at everyone and at his brother. No one spoke a word. Vidura's face was bland and calm. Only a slight sneer could be discerned on his lips. He thought of the Lord, and his mind was freed from all delusion of attachment, pain, sorrow. He took up his mighty bow, and placed it on the doorstep of the great hall as if to say, "With this bow I am laying down on this doorstep the Maya which was clouding my vision, the affection I had for my brother and his sons, the affection which was blinding me to their real nature. It was this Maya which had been tying me to this place all these years, and now I am able to shed it." Vidura walked out of the assembly without once looking back.